Hi everyone, Dr. Kyle back with you again, and I want to take just a moment and try to express to you what I think is one of the most valuable things for you to understand, and that is the true value of you. The true value of what you are to the people around you, the people who love and care about you, and not just putting it in the sense of time or money, but what you bring to the table for them. And when I think about that, I think about when I was younger, how I used to view value. Like many people, I used to think value was the amount of money I could have so I could buy the things I wanted, whether it was a video game or a toy. As I got older, it got to be things like cars. But now I'm realizing as I get older and get wiser, I believe, that it's time with family, it's time with friends, it's activities that really mean the most. And I bet you feel the same way. And that's why your health is so important, because your health is what robs you of those things. You know, here's a good example, and what I think kind of frames that. When I was really young, I remember thinking $1 million was just this huge amount of money. And it is, don't get me wrong, but to my mind, being that age, $1 million, I could buy whatever toy I wanted. So I remember asking my mom if she thought that if she could get $1 million for me, if she would trade me for that money. And she looked at me like a mother would, and she said, "Kyle, you're being ridiculous. No way. Not for $1 million. I said, "Well, what about $2 million? She said, "No, I would never trade you for $2 million. And it blew my mind. I said, "What about $3 million, Mom? Would you trade me for $3 million? She looked at me, loved me, kissed me, and said, "Not a chance." I'll tell you, my mind I couldn't wrap my mind around it at that time. And at the time, I thought that was so weird, but I'll tell you, as I got older, I realized why. It's because I'm not worth any amount of money to her. She wanted me more than anything else. And I bet you feel the same way. And here's what I'll say about this. More and more, as our society has gone litigious and there's been settlements for injuries, things like that, it's easier to put a value on how much an injury is to somebody. In 2010, a 43-year-old male was actually hunting with 4 other friends. One of them pulled the trigger and ended up shooting him in the back of the head on accident. Now, he lived, but he had symptoms that were very similar to a stroke, which means he lost the ability to lose about half of his body. He lost control of his muscles, things like that. He had to be cared for the rest of his life. He was awarded $1.5 million in a settlement. In 2008, a 63-year-old woman went under the knife for shoulder and knee surgery. She ended up getting an infection. They had to take away her shoulder, so she lost the use of her arm completely. She was awarded $3 million by the courts. In 2013, a 65-year-old male was working at a loading dock, and he was run over by a forklift. He lost the bottom half of his leg from the knee down. He was an amputee from there forward, and he was awarded $3 million. But I ask you this, although that's a lot of money, would any of you trade what you have now, your health, your body, your ability to walk, run, and play, and control your body, would you trade any of that for $1.5 million, or $2 million, or $3 million, or even $10 million? I know I wouldn't. So that's when we talk about the value of spending just a little bit of money, a little bit of time in investing in yourself now versus losing that and having to chase that down the road with bigger expenses. Small changes like regular chiropractic care, eating the proper types of food, a gym membership, those little expenses now add up to so much more because they keep you playing with your kids, they keep you going to church, they keep you doing all the things that you value that make you valuable to the people around you. So just a reminder, the value of you cannot be put into a dollar amount. The value of you is more than even you probably understand. Keep that in mind when you make those choices about your health and your life. I'm so glad you're here. Be blessed. I look forward to serving you in the future.